It's not exactly a hidden fact that the Philadelphia Eagles going into week 3 were quite devoid of wide receiver depth. Alshon Jeffrey was absent, and although Jordan Matthews had been re-signed, his impact was always expected to be minimal due to himself getting reacquainted with the playbook and his new surroundings. This, intertwined with the absences of Jay Ajayi and Darren Sproles, left quite a strain on the returning Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles offense. But Doug Pederson had a secret plan in mind. What if instead of forcing the ball outside as defenses expect, or forcing it up the gut where there's a complete lack of depth, you focus on your most plentiful and arguably most versatile position? That's exactly what the Super Bowl winning head coach did, and this is another episode of Eagles Film Room. The Eagles tight ends put on a clinic in Sunday's win over the Colts, in total amassing over 150 yards worth of receiving. But let's take a look at how they actually opened the game up for the receivers as well. On a rub route here by Dallas Goedert, he simply allows so much leverage for Nelson Agholor that it's almost hard not to target him if you're Carson Wentz. Goedert does a great job of pushing his way upfield, drawing two defenders and opening a fantastic cushion for Agholor to heave in a pass and then push to move the chains on a crucial down. Pederson did a great job of utilising all three tight ends, and on this play Joshua Perkins is going to run a simple route over the middle to draw attention away from Zach Ertz. Now Ertz on your right hand side is in a pocket of space because of number 83 drawing the attention away from Darius Leonard. Now take a look at it again. Perkins just turns on the spot, just keeps that linebacker's feet moving for long enough. If Wentz had thrown the ball a little bit sooner, that could have been a desperately different situation for the Indianapolis Colts and a big touchdown for the Eagles. The Eagles began to deploy 12 and 13 personnel sets so often that the Colts didn't really know what to do. So for instance here we can see Dallas Goedert is going to run a simple comeback and Zach Ertz is going to come underneath, just drawing the attention away from the linebackers again. Goedert turns around, he's wide open, all because of Zach Ertz drawing the eyes away of those Colts linebackers. And all of a sudden, it's like what we see with Alshon Jeffrey, right? It's the exact same sort of thing. That the Eagles have got a dominant receiving threat that you cannot help but focus in on, which opens up every other threat at that position. Now, the Eagles ran 12 and 13 personnel against nickel packages that the Colts deployed, where they brought an extra defensive back onto the field 18 times for a total of 115 yards. Now, bear in mind that the tight ends had over 150 yards combined. That's a lot of yardage, and we saw another example there of a screen being opened because of the tight end presence. If you're sitting in zone coverage and you've got a tight end roaring at you, you're going to have to adapt and sit back and see where he breaks in the route. It opens up a great gain for Corey Clement in the screen. We see a similar example here on Wendell Smallwood's iconic reception. Now this has gone down as one of the biggest plays of the game, but if we slow this one down a moment, what I want you to do is watch the eyes and the positioning of Colts safety Malik Hooker, who's playing the closest to our screen on the back line of that Colts defense. Now the Eagles send the tight end streaking over the middle. This forces Hooker to adapt and to keep his eyes penned on Carson Wentz, who holds the safety long enough for Smallwood to beat his block by quite some margin, and then Hooker's got to loop back round on himself and somehow close off that gap. It could have been a touchdown. Great play by Wentz, but even better play calling by Doug Pederson. But because the Eagles have three big receiving targets at tight end, it means they can do things like this. Carson Wentz holds the linebackers with his eyes and gives Zach Ertz time to finish his route, get over the middle and receive a ball in a spot where only Wentz can put it. But this is a three tight end set. Watch Dallas Goedert on the other side of the line of scrimmage now to Carson Wentz's right. A simple spot route, it's an easy check down, and again it forces the linebackers to hold. But the Eagles were also defunct in the run game until they unleashed the tight ends in run blocking, and this was just amazing to see. For all the criticism Zach Ertz received since being drafted by the Eagles as someone that can't sustain blocks, watch this. He beats one, gets to the second blocker and holds him so long that Corey Clement's biggest run of the day was able to stand. We'll slow it down and take a look here. This is some great technique by a tight end that isn't predominantly a big blocker. He knows Lane Johnson's coming, he gets to his second man and pushes him to the ground. Great hustle by Zach Ertz. We'll see a brilliant example here by Dallas Goedert, and this one we know has been picked up by Brian Baldinger in what may be one of the most emphatic run blocks of the afternoon. Dallas Goedert with great technique, but look at the strength, refuses to let go and mauls his man all the way to the opposing sideline. A second play against the same defensive lineman. This is a 250-pound man in Al-Qadim Muhammad, and watch the way that Goddard is able to sustain that block to enable Wendell Smallwood's break. That's a great bit of hustle there from Dallas Goedert, and it's not the only time we saw it. Watch him on the other side of the field now, and this is a tight end at 6'5", who was told that coming out of college, run blocking was a weakness, that the level of competition he played against wasn't quite good enough to be a powerful run blocker in the NFL. This is nothing but great play from Dallas Goedert, and for a rookie, of course makes you wonder why Doug Pederson didn't put him into a game situation sooner like this, or at least expose him to more. But what else did we see in these 12 personnel sets? We've got 2 tight ends. It looks like the Colts have got it covered until, Zach Ertz has got acres of space in front, and you don't expect to see a screen pass to a tight end. And here is the problem. Let's go back and watch this play again. You've got Dallas Goedert lined up on the other side. You're running out of the shotgun. Of course you're going to expect a run. There's no reason why you wouldn't. You load up that strong side and it's only going to expose Ertz on the opposite side of the field. We're going to see a similar situation here for Dallas Goedert, who's able to split the gap between cornerback and safety, gets a nice knock on the corner and snags the ball out of thin air. It's a great catch by the tight end. Not much more needs to be said about that other than the versatility of what many perceive to be a one-dimensional tight end. But even here, we see another issue that this formation causes. The Eagles have 3 tight ends on the field. Josh Perkins is lined up outside all by himself. The Colts have 10 men on the field because there's utter confusion of whether they're running nickel or dime formation. It's completely strange, but this may be one of my favourite tight end plays of the afternoon. The way that this tandem is able to just run so in sync, it's a work of art. What we're going to see here is one tight end break on a post route, the other one run inside, and what you get is a cornerback and a safety that have no idea where to focus their attention. There's only one play we could end it on, and it has to be Goddard's touchdown, and there's one reason for this, and it's the way that instead of the tight ends opening up the wide receivers game because it needs a boost, the wideouts did the opposite. Here we're going to see Aguilar, Jordan Matthews, and a second tight end run comebacks, and this just frees up again. It freezes the linebackers. The safety is then one-on-one with a 6'5" tight end who has the catch radius of the Eiffel Tower. It's not right. And Doug Pederson, knowing that Carson Wentz was coming back from an ACL tear, knowing there's a lot of emotion in the game, knowing there's rainy conditions, set him up for success by trusting his security blankets, and boy did it work. The Eagles offense, even without a #1 receiver, even with their #3 being pushed inside and Jordan Matthews making a debut in the slot, what a game this was for the Eagles tight ends. And if you thought before that maybe they would be a little bit more defective without Brent Selleck and Trey Burton, think again. This defense is here to stay. It would mean a lot to me, guys, if you could like this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. If we want to get to 5,000 subscribers by Christmas, we're going to need your help. We have some amazing things planned when the NFL comes to London, so do stick around. Hit the subscribe button. From myself, Liam Jenkins, we'll see you next time.